This is the Washington Week Webcast Extra.
Hello, I'm Gwen Eiffel. I'm joined around the table by Carol Lee of the Wall Street Journal, Michael Scherer of Time Magazine, and Alexis Simendinger of Real Clear Politics. This is where we pick up the pieces left on the table during the regular broadcast. Let's start with a little pre-Labor Day preview, which could be affected by the roller coaster markets we saw this week. And that's the planned White House visit by Chinese President Xi. The connection, Alexis, between what we saw at the stock market and what we see with him?
Well, one of the things that the United States is concerned about, and we all know this, is there's three things. One is that there's accusations that China was manipulating its currency and its economy is contracting, and the stock markets, the markets reacted among a whole other lot of indices with an eruption that then ebbed. The United States is also concerned about China's behavior in the South China Sea, its maritime demeanor, and also the hacking, the accusations that the Chinese were responsible or behind the hacking of U.S. personnel records, hundreds of thousands of records, millions of records. So this is going to be an interesting meeting in September.
Republican candidates have been telling him, he shouldn't be sitting down with them.
Right.
And tough.
There's been I guess Governor Walker thought that this would be terrible. The president should not. People then accused Scott Walker of being ridiculous. But Marco Rubio has been also equally critical, but not saying, cancel the state meeting. Nonetheless, this meeting is going to happen. It's the first state visit that President Xi will have at the United States. The president and President Xi have met before, of course, last year in Beijing. So this is a big opportunity, and the president's national security advisor was in Beijing Friday to talk about the preliminaries for this meeting, emphasizing none of the negatives, emphasizing all of the positives, and hoping to work things out together. And then also later on in September, just to highlight some of the excitement coming up, the Pope is coming, and President Obama will meet the Pope at the White House. The Congress and Speaker Boehner, who will have hankies next to him, will be hearing the Pope speak in the Capitol. And I say that because Speaker Boehner is Catholic and is very, very excited.
And is a crier.
A
well-known crier.
My mother says cries are card tricks.
Carol, I want to talk about something else you were writing this week about Vice President Biden, not only his political aspirations, but in lots of ways over the years in this White House. He has been a useful I don't want to say tool, that's not the word I'm searching for, a useful person for the White House. Emissary, thank you. Reaching out. In this case on Iran, he has been doing a lot of behind-the-scenes work.
He has, and he's going to continue that. And part of first of all, as vice president, he's had a very large portfolio. I mean, he's taken on some really significant chunks of pieces of business, as those in the White House might say. And this is one of them. He's seen in particular as a really good advocate for the president to Jewish American leaders. He has a long history in dealing with those folks. He has had relationships. He's the guy who can say, I remember Golda Meir, and I've done this and that. And so they know him, they respect him.
Not only can he say that, but I'm sure he does.
Yeah, he does. And so he's going to be he's held a number of meetings this week. He's going to continue to do that. He'll be in Florida, which is a very important state for him politically, were he to run for president, but also there's a large number of Jewish Americans there. He's going to be in Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz's district. And a few weeks ago, she asked him to come down and hold a meeting, a small round table with some American Jewish leaders. So he's going to do that. And there's some speculation that this is also part of Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz's process to eventually coming out to support the deal. She's still undecided. She's obviously a critical vote for president in terms of who she might be able to bring along with her, and it would be symbolic if she opposed him, also for Secretary Clinton, because she's a supporter of hers. So,
yeah. Well, it will be interesting watching Joe Biden for a lot of reasons, but that's yet another one. He's always interesting. Okay, you get the short straw, Michael. We're going to talk to you about the politics of mockery. Let's listen to some of the back and forth this week first.
A lot of people have said a lot of things about my hair over the years. So I do kind of know what Donald is going through. And if anyone wonders if mine is real, here's the answer. The hair is real, the color isn't. And come to think of it, I wonder if that's true for Donald, too.
Now, Hillary's comments followed this, which is we saw Donald Trump at an event this week in which I don't know why it came up, maybe it's because he does these stream of conscious speeches, actually asked a woman to come up and feel his hair and then tell people it's real.
Have I ever met you before?
No. Have I ever met you before, he says? This is my hair and it's real. What is this? Is this mockery of self, mockery of each other? Is it just lighthearted and not worth thinking too hard about, Michael?
Well, for Trump, the humor is a huge part of his whole shtick. I mean, on the question of the state visit, his solution is to serve 2 Big Macs to President Xi, which would be 4 all-beef patties if you're counting.
I don't get that joke.
Right, but no, it's just bizarre.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
and the same. This is just bizarre too. I mean, the way that happened was he came on stage and he read from the front page of a New York Times story that had an anecdote about someone in the Spanish-speaking press making fun of his toupee, and so he called a woman up to prove he wasn't wearing a toupee. For Hillary, it's a different thing. For Hillary...
It goes back years.
No, it goes back years, and she's trying. I mean, her biggest weakness all year has been she's just not a very good candidate. She has a really hard time coming across as a real person on a podium. And you can see in that clip you just played, I mean, the joke was an 8, the delivery was, what, a 5, a 6? I mean, it's a little bit too rehearsed and wooden. And
you get the feeling she tells the jokes much better backstage.
Yeah, and she's trying. I think it was and I think you're going to hear a lot more humor from her because the campaign knows they need to make people feel like they can connect with her, and humor is a great way of doing it.
And I don't want to make too big a deal of it, but I do think that women who have to deal with the issue of appearance so much, and certainly Hillary Clinton has over the years, enjoyed having an opportunity to just stick a pin in that balloon and perhaps use Donald Trump as
and Hillary's talked about her hairstyles for years, and actually that is very endearing. The fact that she dyes her hair and she's willing to come out and say
every woman
it.
in the audience, when I get that.
Yeah. That's right.
Not me, of course. Thank you, everybody. Stay online to see everything else our panelists are covering on our website. Just click on News You Need to Know. And we'll see you next time on the Washington Week Webcast Extra.